Questions fly left and right, in the day and in the night, shining bright like city lights. We dig deep, we find the sights. Governments.
At the end of these sacrifices we have to make on the economy, what are we looking for?
We got answers, you will see. Point of view, point of view. Every story's got a clue. Point of view, point of view. Finding truth in what we do.
Accelerated development to get Nigerians employed.
That better our lives, issues that affect us, issues of our environment, and we bring these issues, we look at them, dissect, and from different angles we look at these issues, and at the end of the day we expect to come up with ideas that will advance our pursuit of having a better society. And that is the crux of point of view on Enugu State Broadcasting Service. Today we are here and we have an issue to discuss. And usually we don't discuss it alone. We bring people who are the egghead, so people that have the ideas of what we want to talk about and discuss these things and proffer those solutions to the ones that are problematic. Today, I will introduce my guest. He's a special one, and it takes procedures of specialty to introduce him to you. But before then, I want to remind you that you can also follow us on our social media platforms, on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Enugu ESBS. Also on Instagram, Enugu ESBS. You can also follow us on Facebook on ESBS Enugu. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at ESBS Enugu 042. You can also check out on our website www.esbsenugu.com. Thank you for your attention and your readiness for companionship. I am Sam Udekwe, your anchor, and here we are for the business of the day. Now, my guest is the head corporate affairs, corporate communication of Enugu Electricity Distribution Company, EEDC. This is Mr. Emeka Eze. And he's here to do justice to what we have come here to do as our business today. Welcome.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. And your guest is as good as mine. Having Emeka with me here, you know what we are going to discuss, and it is something of a great importance to you. And I know you must be interested. And this is our topic is. The place of electricity bans in the face of alleged epileptic power supply. That's what we are going to discuss essentially, but we have other things that surround this issue. Recently we heard that Enugu State Electricity Regulatory Commission, ESEC, has come into action. We had long ago, of course, the last time I was here with Emeka, we talked about the 6 states that have keyed in. Enugu is one of them. But now there has been an advancement in this discourse. The advancement is that the ESEC is not only for the mention. ESEC has come into action, and that ESEC has taken over the electricity market in Enugu State. So it's a bit cloudy to some people, and to some people who are really there, they know what has been said. Today, the essence of bringing Emeka here is to, throw light on it, where there are gray areas, is going to do justice to this. And the first question I want to ask you for this clarity is what's the position of EEDC, given the current situation where ESSEC is said to have taken over the electricity market in Enugu State?
Okay, thank you very much, Sam, for the opportunity. EEDC still remains a holding company. EEDC still remains in existence. This is just to correct some of the misinformation that we have out there, where people allege that EEDC has gone extinct. EEDC is still very much around. I also want to say that aside the fact that EEDC set up a subsidiary company, Main Power Electricity Distribution Company, to interface with EERC and see to the distribution of electricity in Enugu State. EEDC still has its corporate headquarters in Enugu. So Enugu is home for EEDC. EEDC still handles electricity distribution for other states, the other 4 states. Talking about Abia, that's Umuahia now, Anambra, Ebonyi, and Imo states. So by virtue of the 2023 Electricity Act, as approved by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the states are now mandated, are now enabled to play within the distribution, transmission, and this generation space. So what has happened in Enugu State is that the state House of Assembly enacted the law to set up a regulatory agency known as the Enugu State Electricity Regulatory Commission to regulate the electricity market, to create that enabling environment for investment, to improve and shore up the quantum of energy that is allocated to Enugu State, in addition to the grid allocation. So a license has been presented to Main Power Electricity Distribution Company by Enugu State Electricity Regulatory Commission to commence and continue the distribution business in Enugu State. So to answer your question, EEDC is the holding company, is the owner of Main Power Electricity Distribution Company. But Main Power is now saddled with the responsibility of distributing electricity in Enugu State. Is a company dedicated to Enugu State. The same thing will be applicable to other states where EEDC covers once the state governments or respective state governments enact their own law and set up their own electricity regulatory commission. Okay, that will now have EEDC register a subsidiary company that will be interfacing with the State Regulatory Commission.
Okay, thank you. One key statement there is Main Power subsidiary of EEDC. So it makes it clearer to the audience now that the son of EEDC is also the Main Power, which means EEDC doesn't cease to exist in Enugu State, as sensationally portrayed at some media quarters recently. So that is just a point. If you are with us here, the point is that the EEDC is still, is still doing the business of saying that you have electricity supply wherever you are. And we still are with EEDC as our, distributor. That is it. If you look at it, if your son is doing something, you are still doing it. You father the person that is doing it. So
the important thing here is to note that operationally, in Enugu, operationally, when you talk about distribution business, it's no longer EEDC.
It is
It's manpower.
Yeah.
But EEDC is now a holding company. The purchasing, the power purchase agreement, grid power purchase agreement is entered into by EEDC, and part of the power that main power is distributing, that the grid power that main power is distributing, is coming from coming through EEDC. So there's you can't separate main power totally from EEDC. There's a thin, a dotted line connecting the two.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eze. And recently also, the media was awash with the story of deadline given for upgrade of prepaid meters, and it came through you. The statement came through you. So what is it all about? We talked about some months ago. There was this exercise of upgrading where you key in something 3 times and you can now recharge. So what is this one all about?
Okay, we're still talking about the same thing. Recall that information was released to our customers that by 24th of November 2024, if your meter is not upgraded, you might lose the meter. You might lose it in the sense that you will not be able to recharge the meter. The sensitization on this very subject has been on over 2 years now, where we were, intimating our customers of the need to have their meters upgraded so that their meters will be able to accept the new sets of 20-digit token. It's important for us to know that these meters, STS meter, standard transfer specification meters, these are meters that use encrypted token to push the energy token to the meter. So if you go to recharge your meter, you're presented with 20 sets of token, 20-digit token that you punch in as a token that will activate your meter, and you begin to have supply. These tokens are being rolled over, and if it's rolled over, new sets of token will be generated. If your meter is not upgraded to accept those new sets of token, you might not be able to recharge once we cross 24th of November. In February, EEDC upgraded its vending platform by acquiring a new vending software called Super Edge. This is geared towards preparing us for this development that has come actually. It's also important to note that this thing is happening globally, not just in Enugu State or Nigeria or Africa. It's something that is cutting across the globe as it affects STS compliant meters. These are meters that use those tokens to transfer purchased units to activate power. So what we pushed out, the information we pushed out earlier this week, was just a reminder that 24th of November is around the corner, and if you for any reason have not upgraded your meter, you try and do that so that you don't lose that meter.
So what it means is that if you participated earlier in this 20-digit,
yes, if you have upgraded yours
and you can recharge now,
you can recharge. You don't have business with this information. Okay. It's just more like a reminder. A lot of us will be saying, we've not heard about it, or I've never heard about it, because when you will be caught up with it, you will try to look for excuses to justify but you have a long time. The communication, we saturated the communication platform with this enlightenment and education. February 24th this year, we cut over to the Super Edge vending platform, and any of our customer that has recharged his meter or her meter from that February till date, I believe must have upgraded their meter, because you would have gotten the 3 sets of 20-digit token, having the key change token 1, that's KCT1, KCT2, and the token. If you go to vend, what you will get is 3 sets of 20-digit token, which you are expected to punch into your meters one after the other. If you punch in the first 20, you press enter, the meter will accept it. You punch in the second 20, you press enter, the meter will accept it. Then you punch in the last one, which is the token, and the meter will accept it. That is what we are talking about. And we've tried to design it in such a way that it will be smooth. The same effort you make in buying token to recharge your meter is what you're going to make. Nothing different. We tied it to that meter recharging, meter vending. So once you go to recharge, the 3 sets of 20-digit token comes along with your energy token. All you need to do is to punch it in. You don't need to pay anything for this. You don't need to leave the comfort of your home to do this, because you can buy your token from the app or any vending platform, quick teller inclusive. So customers are encouraged to do this so that they don't lose their meter. If you're in the habit of warehousing token, you know, some people buy token and they keep it. They don't load it on the meter. Before you upgrade your meter, try and punch in those tokens, because once the meter is upgraded, it won't accept that old token anymore. You know, we talked about new sets of 20-digit token. So once you want to upgrade your meter, ensure that you load all the outstanding tokens that you might have if you're in the habit of buying and keeping. Load them to the meter before you now punch in the 3 sets of 20-digit token, because once you punch in those tokens, those earlier tokens will no longer go on the meter. So it's more like a reminder. What we did was a reminder. So if you've upgraded yours, you don't have, you have to disregard this information.
Okay, thank you. You have heard, you see, Emeka is the head of corporate communication EDC, and he's talking us, giving directives, giving us information from EDC as they affect us. That means what I want to take you to is to understand that the EDC is in operation on what we do with electricity in Enugu State. And bearing that in mind, yeah, we should still hold Emeka accountable to whatever happens in our supply. And that's why I want to ask this question. Throw more light on this status of Band A electricity tariff.
Okay, you know, prior to unbundling of PHCN and pushing the sector to private players, part of the agreement was that the players will implement what we call cost-reflective tariff. That is, tariff that is reflective of all the costs, associated costs, cost of generation, cost of transmission, cost of distribution, should be reflected on the kilowatt, what you're paying for kilowatt hour. But that didn't happen. It never happened. And federal government continued to subsidize the tariff. That is to say that over the years, what customers have been paying for electricity is not what they are supposed to be paying for, because part of it has been put as subsidy. I think about 70% of the cost has been put as subsidy, which federal government has been taking care of. The Band A arrangement was introduced 2020. It didn't just it wasn't just introduced when the subsidy was removed for Band A. The what we call service-based tariff was introduced 2020, and the Band A customers have always been paying more than other bands. You know, before the removal of subsidy, I think Band A was paying 70 something naira, while the other bands were paying 60. I think Band B 60, so around 60 naira, Band C 50 naira, down the line.
With subsidy?
With subsidy. But with the removal of subsidy, we saw Band A paying 225 naira 50 kobo. That was at the kickoff. Yeah, at the kickoff. And the regulator, NEC, acknowledged that they will be reviewing the tariff monthly in view of the prevailing economic realities. Remember that the foreign exchange plays a very critical role in sculpting the tariff. The inflation rate also plays a role. So these indices kind of fluctuate, and when it goes down, it's expected that the tariff should come down, and when it goes up again, it's expected. So at the point when the subsidy was removed for band A, the federal government didn't remove for all the other bands. They started with band A, because of the shock. I believe they didn't want to have everybody feel the heat at the same time. It was meant to be a gradual thing. And subsidy was removed for band A customers, and that made them pay the full cost of electricity. At that point, it was 225. Later, the naira gained against the dollar, and it was brought down to 206.90 or 0.50. Later, the dollar gained, and it came to 209.50. That's what we have today, exclusive of VAT. So, band A customers, these are customers that are expected to get minimum of 20 hours, a day. They are the ones affected by this. They are the ones paying this premium for electricity. So that is it as it affects band A. And the regulator is also monitoring to ensure that the distribution companies live up to this expectation. Situation where there's a shortfall, a report has to be made to the regulator. Consecutively for 2 days, you need to report to the regulator. And you work towards ensuring that by the end of the month, these customers would have enjoyed minimum of 20 hours. Okay? And where you fail to live up to this expectation as a distribution company, that feeder will be downgraded to band B. We've seen it happen in some of our sister discos, unfortunately. Or rather, I say fortunately, it has not happened within our space because we've been living up to the threshold. So it's something that we want our customers to understand. Is just a way of ensuring that the right price is paid for the product, and also ensuring that the service quality is improved upon. So the distribution companies are now mandated to invest on their network and migrate more and more customers to have this 24 hours supply. Everybody has a right to enjoy 24 hours in their homes. So what we are doing as a distribution company is to invest in our network and improve the quality of service to these areas and have customers enjoy premium service.
Thank you very much. Yes, you've given the background, the introduction to what band A status is all about. You said it before, but why I re-asked this question is that I have been complaints that recently that people are not getting, people are different bands are not getting up to the stipulated supply, and this is what they say is happening. And when it happens, what happens to that? Because the allegation that is they have not, in a couple of weeks ago, that is not
okay.
As expected.
If for the disco to meet up with this expectation, everything needs to be in place. Remember, there's a place the power is coming from. Remember, there are people willing the power to the distribution company. The distribution company distributes. If there's disruption in the chain, the discos will not get the power to give to you. If I'm committed to giving you 20 hours today, and I don't receive power from the transmission end, I won't be able to live up to that. So these are some of the things that we need to also appreciate. Earlier in the month, we suffered a grid collapse. When the grid collapsed, there was 0 megawatts. So there was nothing to give to you. And when the grid was being restored, the energy generation was coming up gradually, and the quantum was not enough to meet up with that minimum of 20 hours. So we had almost all the band 8 feeders not living up to the threshold for the day. The reason being that the grid collapse and the quantum being generated was not sufficient to deliver on that. So there are times there might be disruptions, but part of what the regulator has put in place is for us to, capture that in our, if you visit our website, you see all the band A feeders, and you see those drop will be reflected on those feeders. A feeder that didn't give supply at all, you see 0 there. It will be written there. So the onus is now on the DISCO to ensure that before it is end of month, the feeder would have enjoyed average of 20 hours. So you are supposed to get 20 hours today. You got 18 hours. Tomorrow, I can give you 22 hours. Okay? To make up 2 hours to make up for the 20 you lost the day before. And that is how it will be staggered across the days, and by the time it's end of month, you would have enjoyed your 20 hours. So if there are disruptions, if there are situations where you're not getting the kind of supply you're supposed to get, you need to report. Distress teams have been set in place to attend to faults, especially as it affects band A, because the mandate is that at no point should customers within these bands suffer outage owing to fault or disruption. But there are times you can't help it. If there's an accident along the line and the poles are on the ground, it will take some time to replant the poles and restring the lines and restore. If there's any form of fault that will need time to repair, that time will need to be put into consideration. And once the repair is done, the supply is restored. Most of our band 8 feeders are getting, that prompt response. All we ask from our customers is to, always let us know. If you might live in an area and your feeder will be on and your transformer develops problem. You cannot say the feeder is out. You're suffering a local fault, which the team might not even know until you report. Unfortunately, that's the way we operate now. We are not yet automated to be able to detect where there are faults, from a remote end. We still depend on those calls from our customers. Your feeder might be up and your transformer serving you, maybe the fuse trips. You need to call the team to come and refuse the transformer and restore your power. So if you don't report, you're shortchanging yourself. So those numbers are there on the website for customers to call and have their supply restored, or for customers to call and lodge whatever issues they are having with their supply, make it known to the distribution company so that adequate attention will be given to it and we'll have them restored.
That's all right. I'm coming back to you. There's a question that will follow what you have given us, a defense, as it were. But I'm coming back to you. Well, we've been on with Emeka is the head corporate communication, Enugu Electricity Distribution Company, EDC, and we've been discussing the status of Band A and other issues surrounding power supply within this area. And the Band A, what happens in the event of epileptic power supply. That's what I've been talking about. And the man that has the authority of information is the man we've been talking with, and you've been attentive. We shall be back. Don't go away. When we come back, we'll follow up.
Questions flying left and right, in the day and in the night, shining bright like city lights. We dig deep, we find the sights. Governments.
At the end of these sacrifices we have to make on the economy, what are we looking for?
We got answers you will see. Point of view.
accelerated development to, get Nigeria employed.
Point of view. Point of view.
Thank you for being with us, for remaining with us, for your attention and your companionship. We have been on Point of View on Enugu State Broadcasting Service, and we've been discussing the place of Band A electricity tariff status in the face of epileptic power supply. We've been with Mr. Emeka is the head corporate communication EDC, and you've heard him on some of the clarifications he has given. He has given some clarification, but I want to follow him up with a question for what he has just said about, inadequate, allegedly inadequate power supply. What happens when the expected power supply for different banks, and he has said something. And what I've hinged on is the issue of grid collapse that has brought about this doubt. You've said that there was grid collapse. It's not about the one you expect the consumers to inform. The issue of transformer, issue of a pole falling that they should inform. If they fail, it is their problem. But this one, you've said that is a bit national. The grid, national grid collapsed. And this was an agreement between the supplier and the consumers. It was not met up with. And you are alluding it, you are alleging that it came from the national grid. So who is to be held responsible? Can the consumer now, boycott, what is it called, jump over the disco and go to the national grid regulation or operation to say you failed to supply enough because you collapsed, you couldn't give our disco enough, then we hold you responsible. Who is to be held responsible for the inadequate supply? Because they are saying that they are still charged the same tariff but not getting up to 20 to 24 hours.
Anyway, I know this is a very emotional thing, and I wouldn't want us to, see it from that point. The grid collapses and it's restored almost immediately. It doesn't take days before it's restored. So even if you're losing hours, let's assume that you lost 2 hours or 3 hours as a result of the grid collapse, you still have some days to catch up.
No, that's not the one they are talking about. This is the one they have lost days. That in days they've not got up to 20 hours. In days. So many days.
So many days. In this very case, you're not specific. But I just gave you an example of what is in place. There's a live schedule that is populated per minute. If you log on to the website, you'll see it there. So these things are bound to happen. Nobody planned for it. It was an accident. So you can't begin. It won't be fair for you to begin to hold the market responsible for something, an act that they are not totally responsible for. Okay, accidents happen, and when it happens, the important thing is that we notify our customers and for them to know why this has happened. It is not in the interest of the market that the grid collapses. It comes at a loss, because anytime the grid collapses, what it takes to restore the grid is massive. And even on the part of the distribution companies, they also suffer losses. Some of their facilities will be attacked within that window. So it won't be fair for us to begin to look at it from that point. But we acknowledge that it was a failure on the part of the service provider. We apologize to our customers when that happened. And like I said, it's not something that the grid was restored almost immediately. Okay, and when it's restored, gradually those grounds that were not covered will make up for those grounds. By the time the month runs out,
are they actually going to make up?
Yeah, they make up. The information is there for you.
The statistics will be done.
You can look at it. You can look at it and you decide for yourself whether it's at least it's transparent.
Nobody's hiding. If it's done and it's balanced, it counterbalanced, and
nobody's hiding okay. But because people are now paying for, for this service, they are eager to get value for it. So it's understandable, and they have every right to demand for that kind of service. But unfortunately, what happened has happened, and we pray it doesn't occur again. All effort is being made to reduce the frequency of this collapse to the barest minimum.
Sure, thank you. You know why I have been insistently asking this question is what have gathered from the background on questions and allegations coming from the people. The consumers have this right to know why certain things are happening.
And it might also interest you to know that if consecutively the distribution company does not meet up with this the service level, the band will drop. So okay. it's even,
that's what we are talking about.
Yeah, the band will drop, but it has not gotten to that point. There's an expected threshold that if you don't live up to consecutively, the band drops. Okay. And we've not gotten to that.
Okay, let me tell you this. The allegation here, the consumers, the people are already alleging that they were lured into that band with initial appreciable supply, because people were jubilating, with appreciable supply of power. 24 hours they were enjoying it, and they allegedly lured into it with that initial appreciable supply, the initial gra as they term it, and now dumped to suffer the very darkness that they have been used to. Darkness in quotes.
That's an unfortunate allegation. For a feeder to be migrated, you need to prove that that feeder has the capacity to deliver 20 hours. So those times they were talking about, remember that when they were even enjoying that improved service delivery, they were not paying for it. They were still paying the old rate.
Actually,
at the point when they were enjoying that service, that was before they were migrated, they were not paying the band A.
Are you saying that they were enjoying band A status without paying?
That was when the feeder was being tested.
Is that verifiable?
No, it is. It is. You can verify. Let me tell you how it works. I have a feeder that is radiating 8 hours, and I apply to the regulator that I want to migrate this feeder to band A. That feeder has not done 20 hours before. It's been on 8 hours, and you want to migrate it to band A. You have to submit that feeder to test. That's why people will be saying, the supply has improved, though we are getting what is happening. That feeder is being tested, and energy will be channeled to that feeder to know whether it can withstand the pressure. Not all feeders that can withstand 20 hours.
But that was for a purpose of
it was for a purpose of testing. Like I said, accidents happen. If the grid collapsed while we were testing that feeder, the same thing that happened when the feeder was approved and on band, it would have also happened. So let's not make it look like the sector is regulated and nobody will come and play, except if you're joking with your license. Okay? If your feeder was on the test period, maybe a month or two, to see that some feeders stay up to 3 months on test, maybe the first month, because of some downtime, they're not able to meet that threshold, the regulator will not approve it. Energy has been pushed there. Customers did not pay the band A fee, but they enjoyed band A service. Month 2, they will subject the feeder again, and if for any reason it fails, the regulator will not approve it. Energy has gone in there without the commensurate recovery. Then on the month 3, the feeder stands and delivers, passes the test. The next month, the regulator will approve it and it moves on. And there's a collapse at that point or a major disruption, you say that it will load into. So it's not fair. I want to say that this business is regulated and nobody can play those kind of pranks, except when you're tired, you no longer want your license, on your table. It will be taken from you. So, and sanctions are meted on anybody that is seen to be taking advantage of customers. So it's a very, very heavy allegation there, and they can.
I like the kind of concern you give to that allegation.
No, they can. No. I mean, it's raising this into question. You can write to the regulator if you feel confident about that situation. You write to the regulator. The figures are there. If you visit any of our injection substations, you see the log of how many hours are being pushed out from these stations. So the person that is making the allegation will now bring their own facts. We have our facts. Go to the injection substations, you see the log. Every time there's a tripping, it's recorded there. So by the time you sum it up, you know how many hours that the people in that area enjoy. So nobody is playing pranks. So, the unfortunate thing is that there was disruption which resulted to loss of supply, and now the supply is restored. And if that happens and you're now terming it to mean that people were deceiving you and all that, it's unfortunate.
Mr. HCC, yes, I've heard you, and I know the audience has also heard us. But what we are talking about, nobody has said there is a prank being played. But what we are saying is that is a contract and it's an agreement. Yeah, and if we validate, if we certify the fact that if there is a natural occurrence, if there is this accidental occurrence, and it's okay for the regulators, for the discos to claim whatever they have said, and without commensurately giving the consumers what they deserve. Don't you think that these things could be manipulated? Natural occurrence could be manipulated.
What are we going to get?
I'm coming. No, it's business. The accidental occurrence could be manipulated that it's accidental. So business is business. What you've promised to give to the expected receiver should be complete. If not, then should be commensurately done for the charges. You understand? That's what I'm saying.
The regulator has set the parameters. These things are also
automated parameters.
No, it's not automated parameters. These things are also, thought through. Situation where these things happens, what happens to the customer? The customer will still, remember we said minimum of 20 hours. We'll still have 4 hours to play. Assuming we decide to give you 20 hours every day, we are still living up to expectation. Those 4 hours can be warehoused for situations like this. So when there's downtime and your supply drops below 20 hours, we'll still have buffer to make up for those times, those periods. So, and everything is there. And I told you, if for any reason the distribution company does not live up to expectation, the feeder will be dropped. So if I have hours that I can use to make up for those hours that you've lost, I've not been found wanting in any way. Unfortunately, you've been inconvenienced because you didn't get the 20 when you wanted the 20. But the subsequent days will be, used to make up for those.
Let's hope that these makeups are intact. So you've said it.
You can. You're a journalist. You can investigate it.
Yes, so there are people who are experts in that area. My own is that information gathered from the investigation. I will also pass across to the people that are our subjects, our publics, you understand? So, and what I'm saying is that you have said a lot, and the person that has listened to us should understand that nothing is deliberate there.
Yeah.
So depending on the person's sense of judgment. But I've asked, the questions I've asked are based on concerns raised by...
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so,
I appreciate that. We
yeah.
also encourage feedback
So
because that's the only way
yeah.
we can improve on our processes. Situation where you're supposed to get, like I just gave you an example. Some people are having local issues and they're attributing it to feeder availability.
Yeah.
The feeder is available, it's giving supply, but you have a local fault which has not been cleared.
By the way, whose responsibility is it if there's a problem on the transformer?
It's a distribution company. So you need to report to the distribution.
Okay, the report is the gap now.
The report needs to come.
The gap between...
It will shock you to know that some people will be out of supply for 4 days and nobody deemed it fit to report. And there's no way we can know that
naive.
You're out. So
yeah,
we have call centers, we have district customer service reps, you have the dedicated teams that are made available per feeder, rapid response team to address whatever issues that might occur. But all you need to do is pick up the phone and put a call through. But everybody will just sit back and relax as if nothing has happened. And it doesn't help anybody. So please, and please, put us on our toes. You're not disturbing us. It's what you're paid for that you're demanding for. And nobody will, accuse you for doing that.
Okay, Mr. HCC. When are we expecting stability in this sector? Or do you think all is well?
Okay, you see, stability is a function of investment. Okay, the Enugu state government has taken the lead to improve the landscape, to attract investment. Those monies needed to invest in the sector, the state has opened its doors for players to come and invest. That is a lead to stability. By the time you have generation companies coming into our space to generate power, which will be transmitted within the state, it will result to improve the stability. So it is something that is achievable, but there are ways of going about it. It can't just happen from the blues. Conscious effort need to be made, and the state government has taken that bold step by setting up its own regulatory commission, by opening up the markets for interested players to come. A lot of people are already coming, talking to them, trying to identify areas where they will play. People that will generate electricity will also add to the allocation we are getting from the grid and improve the quantum of energy available for people to use in Enugu. And those businesses that depend on power will have enough to use to run their plants. So we are on the path to stability, and all we need to appeal to our customers to support the idea and the move, because there's no way it can succeed without the customers. These are people that will pay for the service. People have come in to invest, and they expect you to pay so that the sector can be sustained and the service delivery can also be sustained, thereby achieving efficiency and stability in the sector.
Thank you very much. And that's quite interesting that you've taken this time to sincerely talk to the people, from your organic information that you've passed to them. And I don't think there's anybody that will not understand that you are sincerely communicating from what you know that is happening therein. But however, so what is your way of addressing the people in a bid to appeal to their patience?
Okay, basically, we've come there. We're not saying that the system is perfect. We acknowledge that there are areas where we are not perfect. And part of what we do is to intermittently carry our customers along by, continuously engaging with them, telling them things as it's happening, and giving them the true picture of situations as they are unfolding. There's no way we can be efficient without you, our customers. And we depend on you, we count on you, and we rely on your support to get to where we all want to get. We all want efficient power supply. We all want stability in the sector. We all want sustainability, but it comes at a cost. And that is one other sensitive area that most of our customers do not want to discuss. When it comes to payment for this service, electricity is not a cheap commodity. Okay, it costs so much to generate it. And when people pay actual value of this product, it helps the entire value chain. Okay, so that is our position. We are here to serve, and wherever we are failing, call us out. We are not perfect, and it's only when you call us out that we can, look back and say, we didn't get it right here, and we improve on it to be able to make you happy.
Thank you very much. Viewer, the listener, the audience there, we've been discussing on the status of Band A electricity tariff class, and it's in the face of electric power supply. That's the topic of what we are discussing today. And we've been here with the head corporate communication of Enugu Electricity Distribution Company, EDC, Mr. Emekeze. And we've talked, apart from the precept of that very topic, we've discussed issues around electricity supply in this area, where we talked about the coming on board of ESEC, that Enugu State Electricity Regulatory Commission. And we've also talked about what it is all about, what all these things are all about. And he has been able to talk to you. And I hope from what he said, you have understood something that you never knew anything about. And that is the purpose of this our discourse, which is on point of view. I want to thank you for your companionship, your attention. You have done noble by being part of what you have done today. You understand also that you can follow us on our social media platforms, on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Enugu ESBS, on Instagram, Enugu ESBS, Facebook, ESBS Enugu. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel on ESBS Enugu 042. You can also check out on our website www.esbsenugu.com. That's where, if you are not actively part of what we are doing now, when you come through these channels, you also consume all the things that we have discussed on this program point of view. I thank you for this your companionship, and we shall continue to give you that you expect from us. I'm Sam Udekwe, your anchor on point of view, and I want to thank Mr. Mekeze, Head Corporate Communication EDC, for being part of this.
Thank you very much for having me.
Till next time when we come to be with you, bye-bye.
Questions fly left and right, in the day and in the night, shining bright like city lights. We dig deep, we find the sights. Governments.
At the end of these sacrifices we have to make on the economy, what are we looking for?
We got answers, you will see. Point of view, every story's got a clue.
accelerated development to, get Nigerians employed